Part 34. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 331. Chapter 331, Hate iron but fail to make steel. One more please customize. Rustling. There are always rustling sounds in the dense virgin forest. Although the sun is very strong, the trees in the forest are very tall. Therefore, the sun is almost never exposed under the trees, and on the contrary, it is cooler. Not only that, the land under the forest is also very wet. If one is not careful, one will fall into a mud pit. There is a pair of men and horses moving forward under the forest. They are from the giant bear tribe. This time, a total of 6 people followed, and they were all preparatory soldiers. 2 of the 6 people are girls. Their strength is not weak at all, on the contrary, they are relatively powerful. They are also from relatively noble backgrounds. One is Kai's sister, and the other is Logo's half-sister. Their strength is higher than the other 4 reserve warriors, and they will soon be able to break through and become totem warriors. It had been 2 or 3 days since they came out of the giant bear tribe, and they had been traveling in the forest. Although we encountered many ferocious beasts and wild beasts during this period, we were able to avoid dangers. It feels good to walk through the forest without being exposed to the sun. Logo raised his head and said naively. He can be said to be the most afraid of heat. It is very good to be able to walk under the forest to avoid the sun. They originally wanted to go to the side of the cliff, and it would be faster if they walked on that side. But at the same time, you will also suffer from the scorching heat of the sun. After much deliberation, I decided to walk through the forest. Although the speed will be slower for a day, at least I can ensure that I am safe and will not get sunburned. If I go out on the cliffside, if there is any accident, the witch dominoes will be wasted. The number of witch dominoes brought out this time is not large. If you weren't afraid of the heat, I'm afraid we would have been able to reach the tribe today. Lan rolled her eyes. She is Logo's sister. She has short blue hair, single-lidded eyes, and dots of freckles on her face. Although she is not particularly good-looking, she looks very comfortable, and she is full of girlishness. She is only 1.6 meters tall, so she looks more girlish. Although she is only 16 years old, she has developed all the things that should be developed. Then there is nothing I can do, plus you are also afraid of the heat, and walking on the cliff is also very dangerous. Logo sniffed. His expression now looks naive. Although it took an extra day, he is still safe. Stop arguing and move forward quickly. We don't know where the next tribe is, Kai urged. He can be said to be a little angry now, for no other reason than that he has not seen any trace of the tribe after being out for so long. But he was chased by wild beasts for a long time, and he looked a lot more embarrassed. These days didn't sleep much. Which way do we go next? Lee asked, looking around. She is Kai's sister. She has long red hair and a pair of red eyes. She looks very good looking. Her face is also delicate, her tall nose is like a small mountain peak, and she is also 1.7 meters tall. Got it? I don't know either, just wait and see. It's our first time anyway, and no one knows how we're going to go. Logo waved his hands and said. It can be said that he is very relaxed and has a very optimistic attitude towards unknown things. Because I always feel that it is okay to be entangled and happy, so why not live it well? That's how you are, always so lazy, that's why you're not as good as me. Lan was very angry. Her blue eyes kept staring at the other party, and she really hated the iron when she saw the other party's appearance. Even though she obviously looked strong, she just looked careless. If she said she was willing to work hard, she was very angry. If you take it seriously, his strength is definitely more than that. Maybe he will be the first to become a totem warrior among the reserve warriors, but his current strength is not the first. Lan, although I don't have a good relationship with him, after all, both of them have the same father. But she also sincerely hopes that Lugo can live well, because that is what their mother hopes. What's wrong with me? Why are you suddenly angry with me again? Lugo looked puzzled. He never fought or grabbed, and he always looked like he was getting by. It was a coincidence that he became a reserve warrior. Because he felt that the level of strength was not very important, as long as he could become a warrior, it would be nothing. It's easy to say. He has no interest in being number one or being the strongest. He is only interested in eating and sleeping. What happened to yourself? You know best. Lan ignored him and walked ahead. She didn't want to pay attention to him anymore, and she didn't even want to remember what her mother said. She didn't want to help him once or twice, but the other party showed it. The look really makes people angry. What happened to me? Lugo looked at Kai in confusion. He didn't understand why his sister always lost her temper, and every time she lost her temper, it was very serious. You Kai shrugged his shoulders and said, Lan just hopes you won't be like this again. What's wrong with this look? Lugo pointed at himself and was very confused. She just doesn't want you to be so relaxed anymore, she wants you to get serious. Kai rolled his eyes and said. He actually didn't want to be too clear, because he felt that no matter what the other person was, it was the other person's choice. It would be meaningless to say it too clearly, and this was the other person's own life, and it was not easy for him to interfere. I think I'm pretty good like this and living quite happily. Why do I have to take myself seriously? Lugo said, puzzled. Anyway, he always felt that he was living a good life now, and it was too tiring to have to compete for the first place or the most powerful one. He only thinks about what he should eat today. What time can I go to bed? Can I eat more meat when I wake up tomorrow morning? These are my thoughts every day. Of course, those who should train will still train and not fall behind at all. But how good you want him to train will not matter. No, he just completes the task every day. Unlike other reserve warriors, after the daily training time, he will take extra time to train by himself. Even though he does not train as much as other reserve warriors, his strength is not low. It is precisely because of this that Lan is very angry. It is obvious that you can become very strong if you work hard, but it is really annoying if you don't grasp it well. If I am willing to work hard to become the strongest, or one of the very powerful ones, Lan wouldn't have to worry about him all the time. She wouldn't want to worry about it, if it weren't for her mother's advice. She wouldn't care about this careless brother who seems to be good for nothing. Want to talk to you? Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 332. Chapter 332, part of the experience. 2 more please customize. Look, you act indifferent again, that's why Lan is so angry, Kai said. He also knew that Lugo and Lan were half-brothers and sisters, and also knew about their mother's final instructions when she passed away. Naturally, he knew that Lan just wanted to make his brother live a better life, so that he wouldn't have to worry. After all, being a strong person is the most important thing in the tribe, and Lan naturally wants to be the strongest one. If she cares about her brother every day, how should she carry out her training? So her biggest wish, my brother should be smarter and become as strong as possible so that he doesn't have to worry. Then his dead mother can also be comforted, and then his guilt will not be stronger. Once upon a time, Lan had always thought about giving up or not going. She paid attention to the other party, but the guilt in her heart was increasing day by day. The torture was really unbearable for her. So over time, she started nagging her every day. Although Lugo's appearance was still casual. But she did say it. Then the feeling of guilt in my heart will disappear. This is also an excuse to convince myself. In fact, I don't understand, why do you have to put yourself in such a hard stage? Lugo frowned. This is something he has never understood. Almost everyone in the tribe is like this. Everyone pursues becoming a strong person, or someone who can stand alone, so every day is very hard. But he doesn't want to be like this. He thinks that training on time every day, having meat to eat, and being able to sleep are already very happy days. This is to take responsibility for yourself and then become a strong person. Kai suddenly became very serious. He is still very serious in this regard and will not allow himself to become a mediocre person. Because his father does not allow it. After all, he is the son of a chief, and he must be more powerful no matter what. Although there was a time when he wanted to be lazy, but when he thought that his father had so many sons, and each of them was very powerful, he immediately gave up the idea. If he did not become a strong man, he would only become the laughing stock of others. In this day, on the one hand, he is not willing to admit defeat. He is also the youngest, so he will naturally be looked down upon by others, so at this time, he must use his strength to prove himself. I think life is pretty good now and there is no need. Luo shrugged his shoulders and said. Since you are pursuing relaxation and ease, why do you still want to come out with me? Kai asked in confusion. You must know that leaving the tribe for training is not a simple matter. You will lose your life every minute. Moreover, training is also a very tiring thing. Needless to say, the hard work on the road, the most difficult thing is it's a heartbreaking time. Just like now, they don't know where the next tribe is, nor how to get to the next destination. And what's even worse at this moment is that they don't know where they are. Which direction to go in. This is the hardest part, and it also makes people more desperate. If you encounter ferocious beasts, you can still escape if you have better skills. Aren't I worried about your safety? You are my only friend. If something happens during the Chinese New Year, I don't know what to do. Luo waved his hands and said. He is not popular in the tribe because he is a bit fat and looks naive. So everyone dislikes him and bullies him, even though he is strong enough to resist. But he was unwilling to resist. If others wanted to make fun of him, he would make fun of them. But only Kai was his true friend, and only Kai was sincere to him, so Luo valued this friendship very much. Others could bully him, but bullying Kai he would never allow it, so he followed this experience. Otherwise, with his lazy and comfortable personality, he would not be willing to take this risk. You are thinking too much, nothing will happen to me, I am better than you. Kai looked confident. Indeed, Kai was much more powerful than his opponent. If it were a one-on-one duel, Luo would definitely not be his opponent. Although you are better than me, having one more person means more help. We can also take care of each other. Luo Han smiled. Who knows? You may just come out with me because you don't want to train in the tribe every day. Kai rolled his eyes. He and Luo have been friends for many years. Don't you know what he looks like? It's just to make yourself feel more relaxed. That's why I left the tribe with him at this time, and he has never been there since he was a child. After leaving the tribe, you must seize such a good opportunity. Ha ha ha, Luo smiled honestly, scratched his belly with his hand, and said, don't tell the truth if you see through it. You really don't mean it. Kai didn't want to continue to pay attention to him, so he walked forward. Tap tap tap. Luo sniffed deeply and said with a confused look on his face, I don't know what happened to them. He saw one and two people who were very strange today. Don't they usually talk about themselves? Why do you have to say it now? Your strength is not bad, it's just that you don't want to make yourself stronger, so they feel sorry for you, Li said lightly. She usually would not participate in the chat between the three of them, but now they are quarreling in the forest. And the quarrel is very fierce. The most important thing is that they have been quarreling before they know their next destination. And it's noon now. If they continue to quarrel, it will be night. If they haven't found a safe place at night, they will have an uneasy sleep tonight. After all, they are not totem warriors, just preliminary warriors. The vigilance is naturally not as strong as that of the totem warriors. So every time at night, it is also the time when they suffer the most, because in addition to the physical inability to hold on, the most important thing is the psychological suffering. Because they are very sleepy, they want to sleep, but if they sleep, all 6 of them will be in danger. So no matter how sleepy they are, they have to keep suffering. In fact, this is also part of the experience. Let them know that only the tribe is the safest, and they will be safe if they leave the tribe. Be serious. This is also a way to make them mentally stronger. Only when they become totem warriors in the future will they be even more tenacious. Forget it, I'll decide after I go back to the tribe. After this experience, Luo still looked indifferent. In fact, he hadn't really reached that critical point yet, so he still felt it didn't matter. Okay, you decide for yourself. Li also walked forward. She knew that no matter what they said, if he himself didn't realize it, there would be nothing he could do. Second update, please support and customize. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 333. Chapter 333, Can't Be Idle. 3 more please customize. The hot sun has been scorching the earth. From the first ray of dawn in the morning, the Yanlong tribe has been busy. Those who build houses, those who pave roads, and those who go to the river to fish, each has his own work. After Subai signed in and opened the aid package, he also started to prepare for today's work. There are only 8 days left before the rainy season arrives, and preparations are still in a hurry. He had a real understanding of what the tribe would be like after the rainy season and what the rainfall would be. So now his mood can be said to be tense. This is the first rainy season since he traveled to this era. It is also his first rainy season after becoming a tribal shaman, so he must be fully prepared for all aspects of work. After all, he has not experienced the rainy season in this era. Although preparations have been done one after another, he still feels very uneasy in his heart. Wu, what are you thinking about? Yu Ying asked curiously. She also pushed the glasses on the bridge of her nose with her hands from time to time. After all, it was the first time to wear glasses and she was a little unaccustomed. During this period, she kept taking them back and forth, putting them on and taking them off again, because it's so unaccustomed. You have to know that there is a pair of glasses suddenly on the ears. Although it is not very heavy, it will still feel a little painful after hanging it for a few hours. The fox-eared girl keeps taking it back and forth, even if she wears it she is not used to wearing it and keeps pushing it with her hands. It always feels like the glasses on the bridge of her nose will fall off, but the experience of the glasses is also very good to her. After all, her vision was blurry before, but now she can see things suddenly. Naturally, I am happy now that I have become clearer. When I am sewing linen clothes every day, I no longer have such a heavy burden on my heart, and I don't have to keep looking closely. In addition, there are many more fruit oil lamps lit in the wooden house. So it becomes brighter. It's nothing. How did you spend the rainy seasons in previous years? Subai asked curiously. You must know that you can't go out often during the rainy season. At this time, you have to stay in your own wooden house. If you can't go out to work as usual, staying in the wooden house will be too boring. Besides, the rainy season is so long, wouldn't it be bad to waste more than a month in a wooden house? The rainy season in previous years? We all stay in the wooden house, the women sew animal skin clothes, and the men finally have a rest, and they will take a good rest, Yu Ying recalled. That would be a waste of more than a month, Subai nodded thoughtfully. Because they usually have to go hunting and do some heavy work, but when it rains they can't go hunting, so they can only rest, Yu Ying said. You should make good use of this more than a month, Subai suddenly said seriously. A little over a month is not a long time. He has only traveled to this era for just over a month. Then the tribe was developed into this by him, so it is a little over a month. It's enough for him. Wu, what are you going to do? Yu Ying asked curiously. Because in the past, even if the old witch was here, the people in the tribe would be like this. The women were responsible for cleaning some animal skins, while the men rested. I want to arrange some things, so that such a long time must be used, so that they can make something useful to the tribe, Subai said seriously. He already had an idea in his mind. In addition to learning literacy for more than a month, they must also make useful tools. Of course, linen weaving and painazidum manufacturing are also important. There is porcelain fabrication, which requires more manpower. Because during the rainy season, everyone has nothing to do, and the industry in this area must develop rapidly. After the rainy season, you can get the spotted deer tribe in exchange for a large amount of dried meat. Prepare for the heavy snow and ice that will arrive more than 20 days after the rainy season. After all, there will be heavy ice and snow more than 20 days after the rainy season, and there are not that many trips to and from the hunting ground. So we can only tribe quickly produce some linen and porcelain, and then exchange them for a large amount of food. What does Wu want them to do? Yu Ying asked curiously. When the rainy season comes, you can't hunt or go out often. What else can you do at this time? Let them make some novel things, namely baskets and dustpans, Subai said with a smile. All of these can be made by hand. You can also exchange them for some things when the time comes. And it is not difficult to make these baskets. You only need to split the hollow tree into strips one by one. It can be made. Of course, Yu Ying didn't understand what these two things were. After all, it was the first time she heard new vocabulary. She looked confused and asked Wu, what are these two things, what is it? These two things are very useful, and they will also come in handy if you go into the forest to collect wild fruits, Subai explained. Now when they go to the forest to pick wild fruits, they all carry very heavy wooden barrels. Although the capacity is the same, the weight of one wooden barrel alone is very heavy. And using a basket is it's different. It can hold the same large area, but the weight is more than half lighter. As for the dustpan, it's even more different. It can also come in handy when the women in the tribe work. There is no need to carry the wood all the time. With a bucket, it's very convenient to use a dustpan to dig wild vegetables or whatever. I understand, these two things are just like barrels, right? Yu Ying immediately thought of the wooden barrel. Yes, those are the two things, Subai nodded and said. But Wu, aren't these two things a carpenter's job? I'm afraid those people don't know how to do it, right? Yu Ying was worried. Because she felt that Uncle Gumu and the others were making the barrels. It would be a bit difficult to suddenly ask the men of the tribe to make these things. Everything needs to be learned, not to mention that these two things are not difficult to make, so you can teach them well, Subai said seriously. As the saying goes, everything is difficult at the beginning. Nothing is easy. You can learn it well as long as you want to do it. What's more, these two things are just handicrafts done in a wooden house. It's much easier than going out for hunting adventures. Wu, how to make these two things? Yu Ying asked curiously. In fact, she was more curious about what these two things looked like. The names of these two things were too strange. When the time comes, I will teach Gumu how to make them, and then let Gumu teach them, Subai said lightly. Third update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 334. Chapter 334, An umbrella worn on the body. 4 more, please customize. But Wu, some people may not be suitable for making these. Yu Ying thought that some people are clumsy and can't teach them no matter how hard they teach them. It doesn't matter, people who are suitable can do it, and people who are not suitable can do other things, Subai said softly. The cost of making baskets and dustpans is not high, but it may take a little more time. Because some people can only make 1 or 2 a day, but there are so many people in the tribe. If we make 1 per person, by the end of that day, the tribe had thousands of baskets and dustpans. This number is not a small amount, and the lightness of the baskets and dustpans can be seen at a glance. If you take it to the spotted deer tribe in exchange for something, a basket or a dustpan, I can also get a lot of dried meat back in exchange. Does Wu have other plans? Yu Ying asked curiously. Well, there are a lot of things for them to do, not just manual work, Subai smiled. Yu Ying's curiosity was aroused again, and her pink eyes kept blinking. She tilted her head and asked curiously, what does Wu intend to let them do? In addition to literacy, you can also go to the forest to collect some mushrooms, and you can also add some food to the tribe, Subai said seriously. When the rainy season comes, many interesting things will grow in the forest. One of them is mushrooms. When it rains or after a rain, these things will grow very fast and in large numbers. Mushrooms taste very delicious, which is much better than eating meat regularly. Mushrooms. What is it? Yu Ying heard another new word. Fox-eared girl has always heard all kinds of new words since she stayed in the wooden house for a long time. Sometimes she didn't understand all those words, she only knew that they sounded very strange. Interesting. A plant that looks like an umbrella and tastes very good, Subai explained simply. The appearance of mushrooms is easy to recognize. They are exactly the same as an open umbrella. They are a delicacy that many people pursue on the other side of the earth. Like an umbrella? Isn't that very big? Yu Ying exclaimed. The fox-eared girl saw an umbrella last time at Gomua. It was very big when opened. Ha 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 ha, Subai was really defeated by the other party's innocence, and said with a smile, it's not that big, it's just that the shape looks the same, and the size of the mushroom is still very small. Yu Ying's pink eyes were even more curious. A soft and cute voice sounded, I really want to know what these mushrooms look like. Once the fox-eared girl knew that there was something novel, she was very eager to know what they looked like. This is very similar to Yanhua, except that the latter is more adventurous. Then you will know and eat delicious mushrooms, Subai smiled slightly. Good. Yu Ying began to look forward to it, and then asked doubtfully, Wu Ying, is there anything else besides these? Because Hui Niang feels that there are a lot of people in the tribe, and these 2 jobs alone may not be able to keep them all busy. Of course, you just can't go hunting when it rains, but you can still do many things, Subai said. He learned that the rainy season is not the kind of majestic heavy rain. It just means that the rain will be a little heavier, but it will continue to rain. So as long as there is an umbrella or a raincoat, everything will be easy, and they can still carry on as usual. Work. It's just raining, what else can they do? Yu Ying asked curiously. As before, go to the forest to find stones and carry them back. As for building a house, you can start after it rains, Subai said lightly. Because in his opinion, if the rain is not heavy, it will not be too difficult to do some work. And the rainy season lasts for more than a month. If you can save a lot of stones, you can do it as soon as the rainy season is over. Start building a house. This saves a lot of time in moving stones. Anyway, there are only more than 20 days before the rainy season ends, before the arrival of heavy snow and ice. Saving time in moving stones at this time is undoubtedly a timely help, and the house built in this way also just more. This is a time-saving method, but it will be difficult to carry the stones with an umbrella, right? Yu Ying asked doubtfully. The fox-eared lady made up that picture in her mind, holding an umbrella with one hand and carrying the stone with the other. This is too difficult. Or is it one person holding an umbrella and carrying the stone alone? This is too troublesome. Oh no. And it also wastes a lot of manpower. I know that this is the time to make raincoats, Clothes that can prevent rain, Subai said with a smile. He thought of the raincoats on the other side of the earth. The raincoats are not too convenient. Once you put them on, you can free your hands. Although there is no material like raincoats in this era, it would be too much to use the skin of a smooth-skinned lizard. It was extravagant and wasteful. So what he thought of was to use leaves. Many leaves are waterproof, which he observed when he entered the forest. Although the leaves were not large in size, they were long enough in length. Clothes can also save a lot of time. And as long as the leaves are used more and denser, rainwater falling on them will still not be able to penetrate. Raincoat, Yu Ying can be said to have gained a lot of experience today. She heard too many unfamiliar words at once. You can think of it as an umbrella worn on the body, which does not need to be held with both hands, Subai explained simply. Anyway, umbrellas are to prevent oneself from getting wet, and raincoats are the same, both are to prevent oneself from getting wet, so it is reasonable to say so. An umbrella you wear on your body, Yu Ying looked surprised. It's so magical. Woo, what does the koi raincoat look like? The fox-eared girl's thirst for knowledge has come out again, not to mention that she thinks such a magical thing. I will draw it now for you to see, and let Gomu start making it, Subai said with a smile. Fortunately, Gomu has recruited many people to help, otherwise he might not be able to make so many things by himself. Good. Yu Ying smiled and nodded, wagging her pink foxtail in anticipation. Fourth update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 335. Chapter 335, Canned Food. One more, please customize. The Yanlong tribe is very busy now, everyone is doing their own work, and no one has time to do anything else. More than a dozen houses were built in more than 10 days. The tall buildings were particularly eye-catching among the primitive tribes. The paving of the avenue starting from the houses in the central area is also in steady progress and has been paved for a long distance. The paving will be completed in a few days, and then the auxiliary roads can be laid. The auxiliary roads are the roads starting from the main road as the center point and extending to the side. The people in the tribe were amazed when they saw this change. No one thought that this day would come. Moreover, the changes within the tribe were so great that they could not believe it. Is this still where they lived before? This is what they have been thinking about. I even feel that all this is unrealistic. A life where every meal is full and everyone has a job is incredible. Not only the people in the tribe think so, but even the chief and Kengshi find it very incredible. Woo, there are a lot of fish caught today, Yu Ying's soft voice sounded. This morning, some totem warriors came back from the river and caught 7 or 8 fish. They would not go again until the evening, because they had already caught a lot of fish in the morning. For a while. If you continue fishing, you won't gain much, so take a rest. If you go back in the afternoon, more fish will be hooked. Let's go and deal with those fish, Subai stood up and said. The tribe has accumulated a lot of fish in the past 2 days. If it is not processed, it will not be preserved for long. In the past, the fish were caught and eaten every day, so there was no storage at all. But because of the rainy season it's coming soon, and the tribe still needs to store more food. Although there is a lot of dried meat in the tribe, it is also the meat of wild beasts and ferocious beasts, and it will inevitably become a bit boring after eating it for a long time. So it is still necessary to store some other types. The meat tastes fresh this way. Process those fish? Wouldn't it be nice to just eat it today, Yu Ying wondered. She ate them directly every time. Why did she have to deal with those fish this time? The fox-eared lady felt that every day's witchcraft was different. It's going to rain in a few days, so stock up on other meat, Subai said softly. When I opened the system package 2 days ago, a different package came out, which was a bag of coarse salt. The bag of coarse salt is not too small. It is the same as the bag of cat food last time. It's a big bag. It's just a pity that it's coarse salt, not refined salt. If it were refined salt, Sudbai would be very happy. Originally, the tribe was short of salt, and the refined salt they gave out last time was still a very small bag. Although I still use more than half of the bag. But this time I got a big bag of coarse salt. I was a little surprised. The best use of coarse salt is for pickling. Turn out to be Yu Ying nodded as if she didn't understand. Tap tap tap. Sudbai came to the place where the fish were put. Although the fish had been out of the water for a while, they were still alive. Of course, it's not as lively as it was at the beginning, just the tail and body move occasionally. These fish look so big, Yu Ying said in surprise. Although she said she had seen it last time, she would still be surprised when she saw it again. Wu, do you want to see the fish too? Yanhua walked over. The horned lady is always like this. As long as the people from the hunting team come back from hunting, or the people from the river come back from fishing, she will immediately rush over to take a look. The main reason is to see how the prey is doing. And then began to think about what it would be like to go hunting by myself. Well, let me make some canned fish, Sudbai said lightly. When he left the wooden house, he brought out a lot of ingredients, all of which were prepared by the system. It was precisely because of the ingredients package that he thought of pickling some canned food. After all, the storage time of canned meat is longer than that of dried meat. If it is processed well, it can be stored for about 2 months. And after the meat is marinated in a clay pot for a period of time, the taste will be more fragrant, as long as after eating it, you will have endless aftertaste. Canned fish, frowning his brows, he looked like he didn't understand. Apart from fish, this was the first time I heard the vocabulary of the last 2 words, but is canned fish related to food? Just put the fish into the porcelain, and then the storage time can be extended for several days, only more than 60 days, Sudbai explained. Not only that, he also thought of sauerkraut. Vegetables can also be put in porcelain for pickling. The pickled sauerkraut tastes even more different. It tastes sour and appetizing. It can be used for cooking noodles or eating a good partner for stir-fried meat. What's more, everyone in primitive tribes likes to eat meat, and eating meat alone will be too greasy. If you can add sauerkraut as seasoning at this time, you can combine the greasiness of the meat and enhance the meat. The taste. But unfortunately, the last time he left the tribe, the lettuce harvest had not yet been harvested. In addition, porcelain had not been made at that time, so naturally there was no way to pickle sauerkraut. Can fish meat be preserved for more than 60 days if put in porcelain? Yanhua's red eyes widened and she said in surprise, won't the fish meat be spoiled like this? Although she said she couldn't go hunting, she still knew that meat couldn't be stored for too long. I just heard that fish can be stored for more than 60 days, and it was still stored in porcelain. This is a bit incredible. After all, meat, even if it is stored in a ventilated place, it cannot be stored for more than 5 or 6 days, let alone stored in sealed porcelain for more than 60 days, which is almost impossible. It is of course impossible to just put the meat in. You also need to add some seasonings, Sudbai said with a smile. Seeing the surprised look on Niojiao Niang's face, he naturally knew what she was thinking. But it's normal. How could people in this era think about so much? They were baked together with the fur. Why did you consider pickling this method? Pickling requires adding some seasonings and strictly sterilizing the porcelain. Woo, what are condiments? Yanhua can't wait to see the pickled cans. It's star anise, dried tangerine peel, chili, bay leaves, etc. Just marinate these things together with the meat. Sudbai took out a package of seasonings. Although the package of seasonings was not a large package, it was only enough to marinate 20 or 30 cans. This package of seasonings happened to be the aid package he had just issued in the morning. And then the fox-eared lady said that some fish were back. He had originally thought about pickling some canned meat, but he had no choice because of the limitations of seasonings. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 336. Chapter 336, Alcohol. 2 more please customize. Otherwise, for him, there is so much meat in the tribe that he would have disposed of it long ago. He has been thinking about when the aid package with condiments will be issued. Of course, what he wants most is the seeds. Although it is said that the finished products are now directly distributed in packs, it is still better than nothing. The types of aid packages issued this time are also very complete, including star anise, bay leaves, tangerine peel and some other seasonings. When he opened the package, his first thought was to make braised pork. You must know that after the meat is marinated in these spices, the entire taste will rise several levels. Whether it's the fishy smell of the meat or the taste, it's completely different. But after thinking about it in the end, there aren't many of these spices. It would be a bit wasteful if you use them to make braised pork. It is better to pickle and can it directly. It can be stored for longer and the amount of pickling is larger. The most important thing is that the storage time of canned meat is longer than that of braised pork. According to the current weather, you will have to finish the braised pork within 1 day. The most important thing now is to store some food. There is no need to eat the braised pork that day. Canned food can be stored for about 2 months. It's easy to decide which of the two is better. They are all names I have never heard of. Yu Ying looked confused. She had heard so many new words these days. All are good things. Subai smiled. Wu, how do you make this can? Yanhua asked curiously. Niojiao Niang was already a little anxious. At this moment, she really wanted to see what the canned food looked like. Don't worry, the first step is to disinfect, Subai said lightly. He asked someone to clean the cans, and after they were all dry, he put them together. Wu, does this count as disinfection? Yu Ying squatted in front of those bottles and jars. Yanhua did the same, squatting on one side, looking at the porcelain curiously, looking forward to the next step. Not yet, this is just cleaning, the real disinfection has not been carried out yet. Subai shook his head and said. He took out a bottle of spray alcohol from his bag, which was also opened from the system. The most important thing when making cans is to keep the inside clean and make sure there are no bacteria inside. Otherwise, when the time comes, the canned food will go bad after it is made, or it will not last long. Alcohol can kill some bacteria very well. Just spray some alcohol inside the porcelain. Wu, what is this? Yu Ying asked curiously. She saw a large bottle of something she had never seen before. Isn't this water? But what is the thing outside? Yanhua has never seen a plastic bottle before. Why wait until it dries before putting water in it? Shalan also has many question marks. Ha ha ha, Subai smiled and said, this is not water, this is alcohol for disinfection. Yu Ying tilted her head, looked at the bottle of alcohol, and asked doubtfully, what is alcohol? Mom's brain capacity is not very full. Today and yesterday, I heard new words one after another. It is a chemical material that can effectively kill bacteria. As I told you before, bacteria are the invisible bugs on your hands, Subai said simply. It was too complicated for the girls to understand. Just use this word to describe it. In fact, alcohol is ethanol in chemical reagents. On the other side of the earth, the commonly used clinical alcohol concentration is 75%. 75% alcohol is a relatively effective sterilizing disinfectant. Its mechanism of action is to denature bacterial proteins, reduce bacterial activity, and kill bacteria. It is commonly used clinically for wound disinfection and post-operative skin disinfection. Of course, under normal circumstances, alcohol is not harmful to human skin, but some people are allergic to alcohol, which can cause shock in severe cases. Can I take a look? Yanhua said without exception, her red eyes full of expectation. Alcohol is a volatile liquid and is also flammable and explosive, so you need to be careful, Subai warned. Yanhua was stunned for a moment. She didn't expect that alcohol was so dangerous. Suddenly she didn't know what to do. Ha ha ha, Subai smiled and said, "Don't worry, it will be fine if it's in a bottle." This was the first time he saw the cowhorn lady stunned. She used to be fearless, but now to be frightened. Turn out to be Yanhua curiously took the alcohol and began to look at it. "Give it to me, let's start the disinfection process," Subai said softly. Puff puff. He took the alcohol and started spraying it on the inside of the porcelain and at the entrance, making sure to hit every part. After disinfection, the fish pieces that had been cut in advance were put in. The fish were cut into very small pieces. Of course, these fish pieces are cooked in advance and boiled in water. Every time Subai puts some fish pieces, he adds a little bit of spices and a little bit of coarse salt. Because you want to make sure that every piece of meat is coated with spices and a little salt. When it is cooked, although there is a lot of coarse salt, the amount is very small, otherwise the meat you eat after opening will be very salty. Subai put a piece of spices and salt into all the porcelain, and then sealed the mouths with yellow mud. Then spray the surrounding area with alcohol, and so on. All the porcelain is finished like this. "Okay, the can is done." Subai clapped his hands and said. There were a dozen porcelains placed on the ground, and each porcelain was the same size. "Is it ready to be made like this?" Yanhua was stunned the whole time. This was the first time she saw how to make food like this, and it was also placed in porcelain. "Yes, let it sit for about 10 days before eating." Subai nodded lightly. This was his first time making cans. He didn't know whether it would be successful, so the quantity he made was not large. He had to make sure there were no problems before mass production, but the premise was that there are spices. So he has asked people to start looking for those spices to see if they can find some from the forest. 10 days, Yanhua felt that this time was a bit long, and thought she could eat it now. "Good things come later and are worth the wait," Subai said with a smile. Yanhua nodded in understanding and asked, "Which, can I try making cans?" "Of course, do you remember every step clearly?" Subai blinked his black eyes. "Remember," Yanhua responded without hesitation. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 337. Chapter 337, The Last Exchange. 3 more, please customize. In the hot summer, Kinjian and others walked through the dense jungle to the spotted deer tribe. This time they brought more things, not for any other reason, because this time they came to exchange for the last time before the rainy season. "So I have to bring back a lot of food this time, and the next time I will come after the rainy season. There are still so many people," Frog Ming sighed. "Because everyone knows that this is the last market before the rainy season, there are especially many people today," De Gua said coldly. Usually he is not very talkative, but sometimes speaking can directly hit that point. "I feel like there are more people today than before," Kinjian sighed. Since he returned to the tribe, he has often been responsible for leading the totem warriors to trade with the spotted deer tribe. Because this route is not very peaceful, many exiles often covet it. Other small tribes often on the way to the spotted deer tribe to exchange things, he was targeted by the exiles. Once targeted, at least the things would be taken away, and in severe cases, they would be killed. So this road is also very uneven. Yes, Kinjian gradually became the big boss of the exchange team. Because he is an old man of the tribe, and he has the real thing, everyone is naturally more convinced. People are pretty good today, so we can definitely exchange out all the things we brought. My Mang happily touched his big belly. The things they brought today were twice as much as before. In addition to the things originally intended for the spotted deer tribe, they also brought an extra portion in order to give them to the tribe. They set up stalls outside so that their products could be sold at a higher price. This was something they gradually figured out. Originally, they exchanged one porcelain pot for one bag of dried meat. But some large tribes did not have the exchange, so I added an extra half bag of dried meat to exchange with them. After 1 or 2 times, they tasted the benefits and directly replaced one porcelain pot and one bag of dried meat with one porcelain pot and 2 bags of dried meat. Although it was said that it suddenly improved by 1 times, but there are still people who exchange. Of course, they are not robbed all at once like before, but it does not take long. In the past, I could exchange all the things I brought with me in half an hour. After I raised my chips, I exchanged everything. It only took an hour to finish. So they also learned to raise the stakes to exchange for those things. They didn't bring many things, but they could exchange for more things. This shouldn't be too satisfying. I'd better bring the things to the spotted deer tribe people first, and then you can go set up a stall. Remember, it's still the same as before, Kinjian warned. We know it. Frog crowing patted his chest. Tap tap tap. After Kinjian nodded, he began to walk into the spotted deer tribe. Every time Kinjian and the others came, the spotted deer tribe was the most excited. If not for anything else, just because they can get a lot of linen, and those linen are very important to them. Because these linen cloths can be exchanged for various things from other tribes, the spotted deer market can be regarded as a real market. Originally, the market almost failed because of the salt problem, but fortunately, the timely appearance of linen cloth prevented this outcome. Ziguo spread a large piece of animal skin on the ground, and then skillfully took out porcelain, linen, and some wooden bowls and other things and laid them out. Before they even started putting things away, a steady stream of people came around. Because they are all familiar with them, as long as they appear, good things will definitely appear. Every time they go to the market, they eagerly await their arrival, but of course, sometimes they fail. After all, Spotted Deer Tribe and Yanlong Tribe negotiate a transaction every 8 days, instead of every 15 days like the market, so sometimes they can't meet each other. Don't be anxious, everyone, take your time, the more crowded you are, the less I will give it to you, Maymang shouted. He was getting angry. For no other reason than because someone stepped on his foot, which was very heavy, so he was very angry. Those people are really too crazy. If they don't stop them, if so, I'm afraid it's possible to just rob something. We have brought a lot of things this time, so don't worry about running out, as long as you prepare enough dried meat, Ziguo also shouted at the top of his lungs. The people around him were all noisy. If they didn't shout louder, they might not be able to hear them at all. They would only see the things on the animal skins. I brought a lot, I can exchange for 3 this time. I want 3, someone in the crowd shouted. I also brought a lot of dried meat. I was given 1 this time. I didn't get it last time, another person shouted. Me too, I could have changed it last time, but suddenly the amount of dried meat increased, but this time I brought more, someone in the crowd shouted again. Just go ahead, you look like you can't afford to change, don't come in my way, some people looked disgusted. As long as you can afford it, as long as your tribe can afford it, I brought more dried meat than you did this time, the man replied, unconvinced. Shouting like this is endless, Dagwa and the others are used to it, it happens every time. There were even fights, just to grab a piece of porcelain or even a piece of linen cloth. Ziguo stood up suddenly, raised his hand to signal everyone to be quiet, stop making noise, quiet down first, or I won't change any of you. After hearing this, the noise in the crowd suddenly stopped, everyone's mouths are tightly closed. It's better not to speak at this time. Prepare whatever jerky you want and I will bring it to you. Ziguo looked serious and continued, but whoever gives more dried meat, I will give it to him first. His appearance is equivalent to an auction. Anyway, the one with the highest price gets it. As long as you give more dried meat, you can get the porcelain. That's right, we start with 1 porcelain pot and 2 bags of dried meat. Whoever prepares it first will get it. My Mang was there to help. De Gua was there to maintain order. As long as anyone dared to mess around or be disobedient, he would drive that person away or even give him a beating. People in this era are like this. If you don't beat him, he will never remember the lesson. Only by hitting him hard will the other person feel the pain and think that he shouldn't do it this way. I'm here, I'm ready, 2 bags full of dried meat, the person at the front of the crowd shouted. He had already hugged 2 bags of dried meat tightly to his body and was waiting for this moment. Third update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 338. Chapter 338, sure enough, we still need to become stronger. 4 more please customize. Okay, 2 bags of jerky and 1 porcelain. Ziguo nodded in response. Just when he was about to hand the porcelain to the other party, someone squeezed up directly. The man looked anxious and shouted, I have 2.5 bags of dried meat, please give me this porcelain. Why are you trying to rob me? Isn't there something else? The first person was unwilling. His expression was very annoyed. If he hadn't been holding dried meat in his hands, he might even have started a fight with him. I don't care, they also said that you can get porcelain by giving more jerky. I gave you half a bag more than you, why can't I take it? The man rolled his eyes and continued with a smug look on his face, you ask them to give it to you directly, see if they give it to you or to me. In fact, this person was specifically going against the first person, because the last time he used a bag of dried meat to exchange for it. In the end, the first person used a bag and a half of dried meat to win his love, so he very angry. Here, 2.5 bags of dried meat and a porcelain vessel. Ziguo has no time to pay attention to their personal grievances. He only has dried meat in his eyes. As long as whoever gives more, the porcelain will naturally belong to him. The first person has a reluctant look on his face. Obviously, 2 bags of dried meat are enough. The things that can be exchanged are now being forced to add more. Okay, now it's 2.5 bags of dried meat in exchange for 1 piece of porcelain. Who wants it? 11 Guo put the dried meat behind him. I want it, I want it. Fortunately, I brought 3 bags of dried meat, otherwise I would have gone back empty-handed again today, someone in the crowd shouted excitedly. This is what Ziguo wanted. He accepted the dried meat with a smile on his face and handed the porcelain to them. Time passed by, and they brought more than 20. All the porcelain was replaced. Many bags of dried meat suddenly appeared behind them. There were more than 50 bags of dried meat. This was not a small sum. When they brought linen cloth in exchange before, there were not so many. This time, more than 50 bags of dried meat were obtained in exchange for porcelain alone. This amount is enough for the current Yanlong tribe to eat for about 7 or 8 days. What's more, their stall not only contains porcelain, but also linen and wood, bowls and so on. These things can also be exchanged for a lot of dried meat, but at first those people only had porcelain in their eyes, and they did not see those for the time being. Tap tap tap. Qinjian and the others had already come out of the spotted deer tribe, each carrying several bags of dried meat. They placed the dried meat they had exchanged around Ziguo and the others, and it instantly became like a hill. It seems that the results on your side are also very good. You replaced all the porcelain in one go, Qinjian said angrily. Although he said he had expected it, he still felt a little incredible when he saw this scene. He had to sigh again at the magic of witches to create such a popular thing. No wonder he was thinking in his heart, What if he took out the painazetum paper and quill pens in exchange for other things? Would it also cause a sensation among everyone, and then bring back a large amount of dried meat for the tribe? Although he wanted to know, he would not easily take the tribe away. To take things out, especially when the witch has not yet issued an order. Yes, those people only have these porcelains in their eyes, and they are waiting eagerly before I even take them out. Ziguo smiled. The appearance of those people just now was still vivid in his mind. They were like a pack of hungry wolves. They couldn't even move their legs when they saw the food. They wished they could finish eating it on the spot. In this way, there is no need to panic during the rainy season, so much dried meat can last for several days. Kinjian also laughed. Wu still has many ways to do it. We will definitely not have to have a hard time during this year's rainy season. Ziguo is looking forward to the arrival of the rainy season. In the past, he was always eager for the rainy season not to come, because when it came, not only would he not have enough to eat, but many things would be restricted, and the safety of the tribe's wooden houses would also be in jeopardy. Let's go back after all these things have been replaced, and then we can wait for the rainy season to arrive. Kinjian began to sit on the floor. By the way, how is the situation within the spotted deer tribe? Ziguo asked curiously. Because he didn't follow him in the last few times, he was just setting up a stall outside. Are you asking about preparations for the rainy season? Qingyan asked back. Yeah, are they preparing anything? Ziguo asked curiously. Kinjian shook his head without hesitation and said it's the same as usual, there's not much difference. How come? The rainy season is coming soon, aren't they nervous? 11 Guo looked in disbelief. You must know that the Yanlong tribe is fully prepared for the arrival of the rainy season. The construction of cement houses, the paving of roads, the construction of greenhouses, etc., are all preparing for the rainy season. Now that he heard that the spotted deer tribe had not prepared anything and was not nervous, he found it a bit incredible. Who knows, their witchcraft is different from ours. Kinjian made the point. He didn't know why Ziguo was suddenly so surprised. Wasn't it the same with the Yanlong tribe in the past? Just do whatever you have to do, and he didn't say that the rainy season is coming and you have to do a lot of things like now. Maybe it's because of Xinhua's series of reforms that the other party feels that this is what should be done. It's strange that others don't do it. That's right, I almost forgot about it. 11 Guo smiled and scratched his head. But this time is not optimistic, the salt in exchange is even less. Kinjian turned away and looked at the small bag of salt next to him. Ziguo also frowned and asked, did something happen? It was obviously not like this before. Maybe the spotted deer tribe is being targeted, haven't you seen them getting bigger and bigger? Other tribes may have felt uncomfortable, so they cut off the exchange of salt. Kinjian speculated. A tribe really needs to become stronger, otherwise it will be very passive like them. 11 Guo sighed. Yes, we have to become stronger, Kinjian replied in agreement. Fourth update, please support and customize. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 339. On a high hill, surrounded by rows of wooden walls, this is the Wild Fox tribe. The Yehu tribe is also a large tribe, with more than 5,000 people in it, and they are also all kinds of people. They were in a good location too, with high hills rising up into the forest. Although it looks like a sudden hill, it is actually an extremely safe place. You must know that the dangers in the virgin forest are very great. If you can have a small hill rising from the ground in the forest, you can save a lot of trouble. As long as high wooden walls are built around it, those wild beasts and ferocious beasts will not be able to get close. This saves a lot of totem warriors stationed around, so the location is very good. Of course, there are many people who covet the position of the Wild Fox tribe, but unfortunately the other party is a large tribe, so there is nothing they can do. At this moment, the Yehu tribe looked very lively, with everyone gathering in front of a wooden house. That wooden house is the wooden house of the chief of the Yehu tribe. The chief's name is Dadong. The pair of brown fox ears on the head and the brown fox tail behind him are particularly conspicuous, and the eyes and hair are also brown. There is not much difference in appearance, except that the nose looks very big, but the height is not very high, only about 1.6 meters, and the body shape is relatively thin. But he is an intermediate totem warrior. Although he looks small, his explosive power is very strong. Only then did he become the chief of the wild fox tribe. Chief, is this a good thing? Yetu had a smile on his face. He was one of the leaders who went out to exchange things near the wild fox tribe, and he was also a foxman. However, his fox ears and fox tail were both gray, which was also his identity as a Ye-fox tribe. Symbol. The noble status symbol of the wild fox tribe is brown. The brown fox ears and tail are the noble status. Apart from that, they are all ordinary people. Of course, the fox people will be more respected. Even if you are not brown fox ears and tail, as long as you are a fox, you can do a good job. For example, Yetu is in the same position now, even though his ears and tail are not brown. Where did this thing come from? Dadong blew his nose. Came from the spotted deer tribe and spent a bag of dried meat. Yetu continued to say with a smile. What he gave to the chief was a piece of porcelain. This porcelain was exchanged from the hands of a person from the spotted deer tribe. When he saw this thing at first, he didn't pay much attention to it, but after touching it carefully, I fell in love with it. Both the touch and appearance looked very good. I had never seen such a thing in my whole life. Dadong looked at the porcelain carefully and asked, is this natural? Or is it man-made? He always felt that this porcelain had an indescribable feeling, even though it was said to be exchanged for a bag of dried meat. He originally wanted to be angry, but after looking at the porcelain carefully, he swallowed the words he wanted to curse. Although it is a bit exaggerated to say that he used a bag of dried meat in exchange for it, after careful inspection, he found that it was worth it. He had never seen anything like this before. It looked very man-made, but also very similar to nature. Uncanny workmanship. I don't know about this, but someone took it to the spotted deer market to exchange for dried meat. Yetu shook his head. Is this a lot? Why didn't you come back with more? Didn't you bring a lot of dried meat with you when you went to the spotted deer tribe last time? Dadong asked. I don't know why, but he fell in love with this thing after seeing it for the first time. I couldn't help it, there were too many people, and I didn't catch up with them when they set up their stalls. Yetu shook his head helplessly. In fact, when he saw this thing, he also wanted it very much, but he missed the opportunity. The only one he got back from someone from another tribe, of course, said it means changing, but actually forcing the other party to change. However, he is considered a relatively good person. Like most people, he just snatches it away halfway. Although he snatched it away, he also gave the other party a bag of dried meat. Didn't you get this back from them? Dadong said doubtfully. I heard that they would set up stalls to exchange these things, but I have never encountered them, otherwise I would definitely exchange a lot of them, Yetu said immediately. He was originally bargaining with people from other tribes, but when he heard about the porcelain and rushed over, those things had long been replaced, and the people setting up the stalls had long disappeared. There was no one around, and I wanted to find someone to ask, but they didn't know anything. You must find out who it is next time. I want to know where these things come from, Dadong said seriously. He looked at the porcelain around carefully, but he still didn't understand whether such a good thing was man-made or natural. And what he was thinking in his heart was how great it would be if he could use these porcelain every day. It must be very face-saving to use. People in large tribes are like this. They only think about whether their lives can be of higher quality every day. Unlike the people below, they worry about whether they can eat or not every day. Full and troubled. Although it is a primitive tribe, the hierarchy is still very obvious, especially in large tribes. There are also people with high status and people with low status, and this can be seen from where they live. People with high status naturally live in the middle of the tribe, and low-level people live in the outer areas of the tribe. As a chief, De Dong naturally has a good quality of life. When the quality of life improves, he will start to consider it better one. I can only wait until the rainy season is over. I will definitely ask after the rainy season, Yetu said seriously. He couldn't help but feel relieved in his heart, for no other reason than that this porcelain would be liked by the chief. After all, it was exchanged for a bag of dried meat. If the chief doesn't like it, then he would have to bear a bag of dried meat. Although he said that he had no worries about food every day, it was almost impossible for him to take out a bag of dried meat all at once. The food was distributed by the tribe every day. Who would eat it? What? Who eats how much? These are all arranged. Although Yetu is a foxman and can be respected, there is not much food that can be saved. He only saves at most half a bag of dried meat in the wooden house now. This amount is already a lot. And this is eaten during the rainy season. If he has to take out this half bag of dried meat because of the porcelain, then he will not be willing to do so. Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 340. Sudbai walked in the tribe, intending to inspect what was left behind in the tribe. Because the rainy season is coming in 5 days, prepare to see if there is anything you haven't prepared yet. Tap tap tap. Sudbai walked to the house in the central area, looked up at the 4-story building and nodded with satisfaction. He put his hands behind his back and said, "It's really rare to see a concrete house here." Although he said it was all planned by himself, he still felt a lot of emotions when he actually saw it. In fact, it is very satisfying to build a 4-story concrete house in a primitive tribe, and it also covers a large area. The construction of this 4-story building was not easy. There were many troubles during the process, and Sudbai followed up and solved them personally. It took more than 10 days to finally complete it. It is very rare. The 4th floor is already very high. It's so high, won't this stone house fall down, Yu Ying exclaimed. The fox-eared lady was the most surprised. It was the first time she saw such a high house, and it was all made of stone. Of course, the fox-eared lady was also very worried. After all, the stone barriers it so high, it must be dangerous to fall, right? Unless something unexpected happens, he won't fall down, Sudbai said with a smile. The accident he was talking about was crustal movement, deliberate pushing, and other external factors, otherwise it would not have fallen easily. The plant ash cement has been strictly tested. As long as it is dried, water can be added, it will not dissipate. And as long as there is no particularly violent behavior, the cement will not break. It's amazing. You can move in 2 days, Yu Ying's pink eyes kept blinking. The fox-eared lady was already looking forward to moving in, and wanted to experience what it was like to live in a stone house. Yes, you can live in it after the windows are installed, Sudbai said softly. All the houses now need to install glass, and they can be lived in after 2 days of air drying. Although the internal environment cannot be painted like on the other side of the earth, it is still better than a wooden house. Strong. Great, I can finally live in it, Yu Ying happily shook her pink fox tail. Tap tap tap. Sudbai walked around the house in the central area, and then walked in to look inside. As soon as he walked in, he felt a familiar feeling inside, a feeling that a wooden house could not give. He looked up at the ceiling, nodded with satisfaction, and said, "That's how it feels." The cement house gave people a safe and solid feeling, which was incomparable to tents and wooden houses. It was like a sky and a place. It's so big, it must be very comfortable to live in here. Yu Ying walked around the hall in surprise. There are not many rooms on the first floor, only 4 in total, and the rest is an oversized living room. Yes, living in it is definitely better than a wooden house. Subai has not felt this way for a long time. Wu, is such a large space reserved for a fire pit? Yu Ying asked curiously. She really felt that the middle position was too wide. It was even wider than the wooden house she lived in now, and that didn't include those rooms. Ha ha ha, Subai smiled heartily, shook his head and said, isn't this a waste? It's not good to use so much of this place as a fire pit. In fact, what he wanted to do was to treat the first floor as a department, which handles daily work. A department, similar to an office over there on Earth. The people in this department are mainly responsible for the counting and distribution of prey, as well as the work arrangements of personnel and some trivial tasks of tribal people. It is called the administration department. All those people will work inside, and Subai and others are on the second floor, so there will be no impact at all. He originally wanted to build a separate house to set up this department, but there is no spare house to set up this department. And he doesn't know how to live on the first floor, only on the third floor, so the first floor is empty. So what will this location be used for? Yu Ying asked curiously. You will know then. Subai smiled slightly and asked, did I ask you to take the drawings I asked you to make for Gumyu? He gave Fox Ear Girl a lot of drawings 2 days ago. On them are some drawings of tables, stools, beds, and the like. Tables and chairs are also differentiated. There are exclusive tables and chairs for Subai's office on the second floor. There are also desks and office chairs from the administrative department on the first floor, as well as some tables and chairs from other buildings. The rest is the production of some furniture, such as wardrobes and sofas. I have already taken them all and said that they will all be made before the house is moved in, Yu Ying said immediately. Okay, tell them to hurry up. I want all of these in a hurry, Subai nodded. Only when all these things are moved into a cement house will it look like a real home. Perhaps what Subai needs now is this feeling of home, which is much better than living in a wooden house. On the other side of the earth, I was an orphan and didn't feel at home. When I came to a primitive tribe and became a witch, and there were witches, I naturally wanted to feel at home. I'll hurry them up later, Yu Ying responded immediately. Fox Ear Girl was also a little anxious. Who doesn't want to live in a cement house quickly and experience the feeling of a new house? The curtains that were opened by the previous system can be installed, and then the carpet can be laid, Subai Nanan said. When the system saw these things before, this was the first thing he thought of. With these decorations, the cement house looks more like a home, otherwise it would just be empty walls. It would be great if there were murals or paintings, so that hanging on the wall would not look too monotonous, Subai thought in his heart. Don't worry about vases. Just get a few porcelain and pick some flowers. You can also put more vases and larger porcelain as display objects in the room. Do you want to make 2 stone lions? Subai suddenly thought in his heart that there were 2 stone lions at the door of large families in ancient times. With 2 stone lions, it would look more majestic, and it would also look more like a place where the tribe master lived. Just do it, Subai had an idea in his mind. Wu, what are you thinking about? Yu Ying asked curiously. She suddenly saw Wu Jingjing, his black eyes staring at the door without saying a word. Nothing, I just suddenly thought of something good, Subai smiled. What is it? Food, Yu Ying looked forward to it. Ha 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 ha, even better than food, Subai smiled heartily. Second update, please support and customize.